Boobs aren't all fun and games. I know, I also love these squishy pustules of fat as much as the next guy, but they're really inconvenient. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've accidentally elbowed my own tit because I forget that they're there, and it hurts a lot. And then just the other day, I was carrying a box and I happened to run into a wall and hit it, instead of went back and pushed into my boob. That was like the most painful thing I've experienced in a year. And it was sore for like a full day afterwards. And then you know what nobody told me? Bras are very necessary. And if you think I'm wrong about that, then for any of you who have boobs, try not wearing a bra and then run down a flight of stairs. It hurts. And then sometimes they're just sore without any provocation, which I know is a sign of them growing, but it's still kind of annoying. So whenever I was researching stuff before transitioning and taking HRT, this is all stuff that I either didn't discover in the research or it was really underplayed. There are even more things that I didn't expect to experience from transitioning, like mosquitoes. So I live in a place that gets a lot of mosquitoes in the evening, especially during the summers. All my life previously, I didn't really get bit by mosquitoes very often, especially if I was in a group of other people. I was always the one person not getting bit. That all changed when I started HRT, and I thought I was going crazy because I became a walking all-you-can-eat buffet as all the skeets on the face of the earth come to swarm on me and suck on my blood. And then heaven forbid one mosquito gets trapped in my house or in my car, that thing will suck me dry. So this got so insane that I was getting bit by so many mosquitoes that I researched it to see if anybody else was experiencing this because of HRT, and it's a real thing. And I can't believe that it was never talked about in everything that I researched about it. But I'm gonna give you a science lesson here. So mosquitoes, they hunt by scent, and your scent changes based on hormones because of like the oils that your skin's producing and your sweat. That all kind of shifts based on your hormones. And another fun fact about mosquitoes, they typically target women more than men. They're sniffing out to see if there are any women, and those are the ones that they want to bite. I saw in the research that I was doing that some trans masks were experiencing more mosquitoes, some were experiencing less, some trans femmes are experiencing more mosquitoes, some were experiencing less. More often than not, women get bit more by the mosquitoes and men get bit less. But hey, to all the trans folks out there, even the mosquitoes view me as a real woman. So why don't you make like a mosquito and suck on that? And as bad as the mosquito bites are, I mean, at least somebody's sucking me. So now the big question I think a lot of people wonder about is when you start HRT, does your banana organ shrink? For me, the real question is, how could something possibly get smaller than half an inch to begin with? I'm kidding! Or am I? But to be real, all the research that I did seemed to suggest that your eggplant emoji does not shrink at all. And it's not like I took measurements before or after, which I should have done because that would have been an awesome comparison to actually measure that before and after. But I feel like it did shrink a tiny bit. It went from being like 18 inches to 17. I'm kidding again. Or am I? But that one I can't really confirm or deny because again, I didn't really measure it, and if it did change, it didn't change a whole lot. But I can tell you what definitely does shrink are all your other bits, which I did learn about in my research about male to female HRT beforehand, is that it does cause your testicles to shrink, which for me I count as a win because then it's like all those bits are out of the way and no longer obstructing you. But you know a weird side effect about that nobody seems to talk about? So part of it that's common knowledge is you have reduced or downright non-existent fertility after you take HRT, which again, I count as a big bonus. But there's a functional difference with when that happens. So for most people that have a banana organ, they're probably used to having an emission of fluid when they reach a climax. But I can tell you as someone who's been on HRT for about 10 months now, there's no goo. To say that a dribble comes out is kind of an overstatement. It's more like a drop, if you're lucky. Which again, kind of count that as a win because no more cleanup for that stuff. But this is a weird thing that I feel like nobody really talked about this in like the research that I did and like watching videos of other people talking about their experiences with HRT. But along with that comes another weird sexual change, which is that as your body adjusts to being female, you also get a female orgasm. Some of the research that I did said that it actually feels different, like you feel it in your whole body. I didn't experience any of that. It still feels the same to me. What I did experience though, is that there is no longer a refractory period, meaning that when you climax, you can go right into another one without waiting. But I mean, as wonderful as that ability is, I've never really had a chance to use that superpower for good yet, but here's holding out for the future. But probably the worst change that I noticed that I didn't expect from taking HRT is that I've gained a lot of weight since I've transitioned. As someone who's super self-conscious about my weight, who used to be very overweight, that's kind of an annoying thing. And it's the worst change that I've noticed so far. And I mean, I might not look it, but I used to be 140 pounds when I started taking HRT. Now I'm 160. So I gained 20 pounds in about the span of 10 months, and that sucks. And it's way harder to lose weight now because a female body processes calories different than a male body. A male body devotes a lot of calories towards building muscle, whereas a female body devotes more calories to building fat. So you lose that muscle and you start building more fat, and if you don't adjust your lifestyle by like working out more or eating less, you will just gain weight. So now I'm in the process of trying to adjust my diet to now undo the weight gain that I've gotten and go back to where I was. And I mean, it's not the medication that actually causes the weight gain. It's more of how the medication is adjusting how your body operates. And to some extent, the fat that I'm getting is what I want from HRT because the fat's going here and it's going to the hips. So it's giving me that more feminine figure. But also my clothes don't fit very well anymore and that's uncomfortable. So I want to undo that part. Maybe just lose some of the weight and not all of it. I don't know. But those are some of the things that I noticed from transitioning that I don't see a lot of other people talking about. So hopefully that was interesting for people to hear about. So leave a comment and let me know any of the weird things that you experienced from transitioning. As I always say, you can check out my Twitch channel and just chat with me while I play video games. And also check out my Instagram. I don't really post a lot there, but I'll post something there at some point. Besides that, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, check out my other videos. All that nonsense for the engagement. But thanks for watching. Bye bye.